Okay, hello students. In this video, I'm working on simplifying uh, inverse expression. Here is first example. This is actually problem number 16 on the packet that we did today. Okay, this is lesson number 3, sorry, module 3. Okay, and this is the practice problem, and this problem is 16 in the packet that I gave you. So the goal is, how do we figure out what is this value? Now, in order to know this answer, it's always better to understand. Now, this is same as writing sine inverse of minus root 2 divided by 2. Okay, so we need to know what is this answer. And for this, we have to know the unit circle. If you remember the unit circle, the arc that we are going to use is for sine inverse. This is the arc to be used. That means from minus 90 all the way to plus 90. So your angle has to be, so this angle that we are going to write, whatever that angle theta, it has to be between minus 90 to plus 90. So how do we know exactly what? So your answer has to be between this. So that means we, if, assuming this negative wasn't there, then what about if it was just sine inverse of minus, it's just root 2 divided by 2, right? And we don't know what is that angle, so that the sine of what angle is root 2 2, right? And then we know that it has to be pi by 4, which is 45 degrees. So now on the graph, 45 degrees will be, so 45 will be, so this is 0, so 45 will be halfway down. So that's pi by 4. So this is pi by 4. So that means this answer here, for we do know that for pi by 4, cosine pi by 4 is root 2 2, and sine pi by 4 also is root 2 2, which are both plus. If you see on the downward, if I do the reflection of this point over the x-axis, this point is root 2 2, the same thing, but the other one is minus root 2 2. So that means sine of, so the answer that you see here is minus root 2 2, then here it is minus root 2 2, and the angle that you see is, this is the angle, that angle will be clockwise direction, which is minus pi by 4, which is negative 45. So that means sine of negative pi by 4 is 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 minus root 2 2. See, this is how you get from the unit circle. So the answer for this is has to be minus pi by 4. And see clearly, minus 5 pi by 4 is between minus 90, which is minus pi by 2, and this is minus 45 degrees, because pi by 4 is 45 degrees and 90 degrees. So I hope this makes sense to you. So minus pi by 2 is less than negative pi by 4 uh, equals to, I'm taking a little time here just to really understand the concept very clearly. Uh, when this question is asked, just think of maybe first positive part, see this part, and this one you get, this has to be pi by 4. Now, now this is pi by 4, and you can see also, uh, even though this minus sign is there, and this is minus pi by 4, we got one minus pi by, but then you can also go other way around. I could have gone this way also, see this part. So this piece also is, this piece will be minus root 2 2 and minus root 2 2. That means even sine, and how many pi by 4s here? If you go this way, you can see this will be 5 pi by 4, because semicircle is 4 pi by 4, because 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then one more. So the answer is, some, you may have tempted to write, is it why not 5 pi by 4? And the reason is, your answer has to be here. It should be more than minus 90 and less than plus 90. And then because the range, this is the range of sine inverse function, right? So when you look at this graph of sine inverse function, you see this, if this is -1 and this is 1 and this is pi, so you know pi by the range of sine function is from minus pi by 2, and the graph of this is this one. So it starts and goes this way, and there you go. So the graph of sine inverse is in the domain -1 to +1, but the range is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi. So I hope this takes care of knowing the answer. Let's move on to another one. So this time the question is arcsine. That means it is sine inverse of what? Okay. So we want to know. The answer has to be from -90 to minus pi by 2, and the angle has to be till plus pi by 2. And you can see on the unit circle that the angle, the arc, this is the arc we have to use from -90 here. This is -90. So it's like going -90 here. This will be -60, -30, and that's 0. Now remember, this is 0. What point is this? Is 1, comma 0. It means this is cosine 0 and sine 0, right? And you can see the answer here, they argue the output here, the domain is 0 value. So the input that you see is 0. So if it is 0, and you can see this point is 0 right here. So you can clearly see this is 0. Of course, on the other side also is 0 here, -1 and 0. And that's like going semicircle, which is pi here. Which is cosine pi is -1, and sine pi, you see clearly it is 0 here. So you have two answers. Are you going to take a 0 angle? So this is 0 angle, this is 0 angle, and this is pi angle. But then 0 is now the angle 0. So this time you're thinking of angle 0, which theta is 0, and this 0 is between the minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So the answer for this is going to be sine inverse of 0. This is real number 0, and this is angle 0 and 0 radians. And that's it. So I hope you understood what I'm talking about. Let's do another one other than sine maybe. This is 18 again. This is the one that we already did. So I'm just walking through quickly. So we don't know. Let's put it theta, and the theta has to be between minus pi by 2. So it's just a repeated one. And the good thing is there's already plus here. So when you think of the unit circle, you can see we do know that sine of 45 degrees is going to be, sorry, no, 45 is root 2. So this one. So this is 45, right? When you talk, so this point is cosine of the angle, whatever that 45, which is pi by 4. So this is root 2 and root 2. And you can see the answer has to be, so this is like sine inverse of root 2 is theta. So the answer has to be, so theta has to be uh, pi by 4. And because sine of pi by 4, which is sine of 45, and sine of 45 is root 2. That's it, you're done. Now you can't take another one. You may say, I always like to share this even though you understood it maybe. On the other side, I can think of this, this we already did this way. You can't take this one, which is 5 pi by 4. You also cannot take this one. Now, what is this one? Uh, this is like clockwise, pi by 4, negative pi by 4, then again another negative pi by, and another one, 3. So this also is negative 3 pi by 4. But remember, you can't cross this. This is that 19 minus 90, which is minus pi by 4. You can't go below that. And that's why we say this pi by 4 is really in the range of sine inverse. So hope that helps. Let's move on to the other. So question number 9, this is question number 19. Check your assignment paper. Like this one is sine inverse of minus half. So when you look at it, suddenly you have to know that sine pi by 6, this should be at back of your mind that this is half. So sine 30 is half, right? So sine of 30 is half. On the unit circle, if you see this is this one, this is that sine of, suppose this is pi by 6. So that's root to root to sorry, half. So this is your half, and this is root 3 over 2, because cosine 30. So if I write here, this is pi by 6. Okay, so that's, so the second part is what is here. This one is half. So, but then there is a minus. So if it is minus, that means the unit circle here, the arc that we are going to use here. So if this is pi by 6 this side, so we have to go the other way around. So you have to go this way, and that's minus pi by 6. So this is the number, as this is root 2, sorry, it's half. So this is half here, and if you see at the bottom, the y output will be minus half, and that's the cosine of the angle. So cosine of the angle is minus half, because this is the fourth quadrant, and the angle is pi by negative. So this has to be sorry, sine here, sine of pi by 6. So the final answer for this has to be minus pi by 6, and minus pi by 6 does rise in, this is the arc, so it is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. That means minus pi by 2 less than equal to minus pi by 6 less than equal to pi by 2. Okay, so this takes care of that the value is in the range of minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. Okay, now this one is problem number 20, arctan. That means the question asked is, what is tan inverse of minus 1? So you do know that tan of what? So we need to know tan of what angle is 1. Just excluding the minus, tan of what angle is 1, and we know that it has to be tan of pi by 4, because tan pi by 4 is 1. Now, if you see the unit circle again, 45. This will be pi by 4. So this angle I write is theta here. Theta here is pi by 4. Okay, for this angle tan is for 10 pi by 4. So this pi by 4 gives you the answer. But remember the for the arcsine, arctan, this is going to be the angles between, not from. So it's from between minus 90 and plus 90. And the reason is tan of pi by 2 is undefined, because the tan definition is y over x, right? So you can't have a 0 at the bottom, because this point and this point is 0, 1, and the second one is this point is 0, negative 1. So that's why tan is undefined. So we can't. So the range for the arc, for the range for this is, has to be a final answer, has to be between minus 2. So strictly less than till plus pi by 2, and that's what you want to know, what it is, right? And the answer is, we say, okay, on the other side, if whatever this point, you go on the other side with negative. See, so this becomes the negative pi by 4. So this is the one which will give you tan of inverse of this will be minus pi by 4. This is minus pi by 4. And the answer is minus pi by 4. And you're done. So this one, this line that I draw is tan pi by 4 is 1. But the one that you do, this one, tan of minus pi by 4 is negative 1. I hope that takes care of that problem. Let's do one more. So, and the only way we can master this skill is do one more, and do the composition inverse functions. Okay, this problem is 7. I like to show, because there were some students who missed the class. So I would like to show how do we do this. This is cosine inverse. So it is cosine inverse of minus root 3 over 2. Okay, so that means we need to know But the arc cosine, so for the unit circle, this one, the arc cosine used is this one, this piece. From 0, starts with 0, goes all the way to pi, which is 180. So the inverse function, whatever the value that I'm going to write here, that has to be between 0 to 180. You cannot have more than 180, and you can't have negative, because the graph of cosine, if you see the inverse graph is, if this is -1 and this is +1, and this graph is, suppose this is pi, this is pi, this is pi by 2, this is half, and the graph that you see is, it starts, the cosine inverse, which cosine of what angle is 1, because there's 1 here, right? It's like cosine inverse of 1 means it has to be 0. So it starts here and then it goes this way until here. So this is the graph of arc cosine. So the question is asked, what is minus root 3 by 2, which is like minus 1. Now pi is like 3.14. And this root 3 by 2 is almost like 1.5, 1.6. So this is like, this pi is half, which is 1.5 and 6, right? So that's 1.56. So they're asking some way. Okay, so this answer, I think I'm messing up. This is minus root 3 over 2 is actually minus 1.37, which is, if you divide, you get minus 0.68, something like that, right? To 6 or 12 to 9. Yeah. So that means somewhere here, maybe. If this is somewhere here. So we want to know what is this, what is that angle part. So we want to know what is this angle here like this. So let's see how to do that. Now cosine inverse of this is, first let's do without. What if it was just a cosine inverse of root 3 over 2, okay? So cosine of what angle is root 3 by 2? We do know cosine of pi by 3, which is 60 degrees. Cosine 60 is root 3 by 2. Sorry, cosine was root 3 pi by 6 here. I made a slight mistake. So this has to be 6, because that 60 gives you, sorry, 30 degrees gives you root 3 by 2. So that means in the unit circle, this is the one. See, this is pi by 6, which is 30. This is pi by 6. Okay. And therefore, this point is cosine first and sine second, x and y. And cosine of pi by 6 is root 3 over 2. And sine 30 is half. So, you know this is the point. And then naturally, you can't go back. Now, you can't go this side by showing the reflection here and say, hey, that's minus root 3 by 2. So we can't take this, because this angle is, if you take this angle, this is going to be minus pi by 6. But your answer has to be only from 0 to, that's the range of the cosine inverse function. So you can't take negatives. So the only way you go is other way around. So we say, okay, this is one. Let me take this piece. Let me take this one. We don't need this. So I'll take off this piece. Okay, so that means we have to go. So this is reflect on the over the y-axis. So the point will be right here. So if that's the point, the angle is, so this is going to be the angle, this be. And how much is this angle? Now remember, whatever this angle that you see pi by 6, this also is pi. It's also called reference angle, pi by 6. So that means any semicircle, so the semicircle is always, how many 30s are there in a 180? So if I have like this, you know, this, if this is the point, all around is, there are 180, which is 6. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? So that's how we figure out, okay, this is 1 pi by 6, 2 pi by 6, 3 pi by 6, 4 pi by 6, and there you go, 5 pi by 6. So this answer is, if this is plus, this is minus root 3 over 2. So that's for me important, because cosine, x is, definition is, cosine is x coordinate. This is a unit circle, so I'm not worried about the denominator. So there are 5 pi by 6. So the answer for this is going to be, is, for the negative I'm asking. This one, you know, is this one, knowing this, we can now be sure that cosine inverse becomes how many pi by 6 from here? You go all the way, you go all the way. This is 5 pi by 6. So the answer is 5 pi by 6. Okay, so I hope this helps. So what that means is if this is pi by 2, this is that pi by, that is 5. Of course, my graph is not good. So maybe here, just before the pi here, this is 5 pi by 6. The sketch is just for reference of understanding, but I hope you make sense. Let's do another one. So the question is, what is the exact, this is question number 21. What is the exact value of this? So there is a composition of the function. The theta, I'll call it theta, is given to you here. Theta is 5 pi by 2. Now, before even when you look at this, there's a 5 pi by 2. Remember, pi by 2 is 90 degrees. So pi by 2. So in a whole unit circle, how many 90s make up the whole circle? And you can see 90, 90, 90, 90, the four of them. So if these are four, the fifth one will be like a coterminal angle. So if this angle instead of 5 pi by 2, which is 5 times 90 is, so another one, so this angle is 90 degrees and 5 pi by 2 is like going all around. So you're here first and then you go one more. So this whole thing will be 2, then 3, and then 4, and you get back here. So that this is same as coterminal angle is pi by 2. So finding this sine inverse of cosine of 5 pi by 4 is same as writing sine inverse of cosine of pi by 5 pi by 2. Sorry, this is pi by 2. So this is pi by 2 because both are coterminal angles. So this angle is pi by 2 and this angle also is 5 pi by 2. And for that, you know that this point is 0 and 1, correct? Then the question here is cosine. So if it is cosine, this is the one. So cosine of what angle is 0? And we know it is 90 degrees because cosine of pi by 2 is 0. So the answer here would be, so this becomes sine inverse of this answer here. Sorry, here it is. This is sine inverse of 0. So cosine pi by 2 is 0. And then this is the one that we already did because we know the answer that you're going to write has to be between, because it's the arcsine, which is inverse function, and the answer has to be between this plus 90. And you can clearly see the answer of this is 0. The answer is 0 because you can see this, because they are giving you this 0, that means here it is 1 and 0. See, so this is that, this part is sine of 0, angle is 0 value. I hope that takes care, and this is done. And because this is question number 22, the angle is 45, which is already acute angle, so it becomes easy. We don't have to break our head. So tan inverse is this, this is tan of 45, okay, and tan 45, you know, is 1 root 2. Sorry, tan 45 is 1, okay, and therefore, and what is sine inverse? So sine inverse is, remember, here 0 and 1, correct? This is the one part. That's what I'm, this one is on the unit, this one. So it has to be 90 degrees, which is pi by 2. So the answer is pi by 2. And this pi by 2 is between minus pi by 2 and plus pi by 2, correct? So because the arcsine, what arc do we use? This is the arc that we use from minus 90 until here plus 10. So hope that helps to do this kind of. Let's go move on and do the little difficult questions. First, question number 23, let's write this as is to replace this angle theta or a, whatever that is, sine inverse of, so cosine of 1500. So we need to know, the first step is we need to know what is the coterminal angle for this, right? And 150 is quite a big number. So the best way to do is let's see, because all round we have to see, and all round is 360, this is 360. So we want to know how many 360 times we have to check this. I'll put a 360 here and 1500, right? So how many 360s make up here? And you can see if I write 4, let's see. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 6 is 24, 2. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. See? So it's a little less. And how much? So this will be 0. And this will be you take this becomes 4 and 10 minus 6 is 60, and that's the answer. So that means this angle is almost coterminal with 60. So instead of writing this, it's as good as writing sine inverse of cosine of 60 degrees. See, so simple. And then you figure out what is sine cosine of 60. Cosine 60 is half, correct? And then you say what is sine inverse of half? Uh, So sine inverse of half is pi by 6. All right, here I can, instead of 60, you can write pi by 3. So that's what they expect. And here, sine of inverse of half is 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 pi by 6, 30 degrees. So your answer is 30 degrees, and you're done. And is our question, is our answer correct? Yes, because whatever the answer that we got is between, because there's a sine inverse, so you want to make sure this is also between this. But some of you may say, why not other? Why not 5 pi by 6? See, so the question arises, why not 5 pi by 6? Because on the unit circle, if you see this, uh, if you go pi by 6, 2 pi by 6, 3 pi by 6, 4 pi, and here, if you see this piece, this point that I'm talking about, it is half here, and it is minus root 3 by 2. So because if this is half and root 3 by 2, on the other side become minus. So this piece is sine. So why not this? But the problem is our range has to be from until 90, that pi by 2, which is 90 degrees. So you cannot cross 90. So this is 90. So you can't cross like that. So it has to be below. So I hope that makes help. Okay, this is the next question is about cosine inverse. Now, what does this mean? Okay, now there's 11. So we need to know what is the 11 pi by 4. One way is you can do directly going around and checking on where is the negative 11 pi by 4, and you can see if you have a dot all around, how many, what is 40 pi by 4 is 45 degrees, and how many 45 degrees make the whole around? See, all around you can see there are 8 of them. So every 8 you get a coterminal angle. So in this case, there's 11 pi by 4. So you can also do this. The one way you can easily get is directly, okay, 11 pi by 4. So it's the clockwise direction because there's a minus. So if this minus, so this is minus pi by 4 here. So this is minus pi by. Then you go another 2 pi by 4. Then you have 3 pi by 4, pi by 4, 5 pi by 4, 6, 7, 8. So you see this is 8 of them around. But then we can still go 8, and then you go in 9, 9, 10, 11. So that's the 11. So this is that, instead of writing this is as good as writing cosine inverse of sine of minus. If you see this is 1, 2, and 3. Instead of this, you can write minus 3 pi by 4 like this. Okay. So you want to know this number, right? So that's what the point is. So negative 11 pi by 4 is same as negative 3 pi by 4. So all you want to know, what is this? So if you go on the other side, if this was 45 here, if this is pi by 4, which is 45, we know it is root 2, root 2, both cosine and the sine. And here there's the sine, so this piece is sine. So this side is minus root 2, see? So your answer becomes here. So the cosine inverse stays the same, cosine inverse, but this piece is this one minus root 2. See, this is minus root 2. Okay, so you are done with the first part of this. What about the second part? So we'll have to do everything this side. So to figure out this cosine, now you go to what is the arc of cosine? Cosine is, so the arc has to be this piece, and it is given a minus root 2. So cosine is, where is cosine negative? Cosine is, now if this is 45, this is 45, which is pi by 4, which is root 2 and root 2. And if you see on the other side here, this angle, if you see opposite, if you reflect over the y-axis, you get this one is minus root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. So this is the cosine, whatever that angle. See, this is cosine of that angle is minus root 2, because you want to know how much is this. And you can clearly see that's always 1 pi by 4, 2 pi by 4, and 3 pi by 4, and you're done. So the answer for this is eventually is 3 pi by 4. So this is how, of course, all this calculation I'm showing to show so that your visuals are clear, you understand exactly how it goes, uh, and do that. But is there another way to do shortcut? Let's see. You can do a little shortcut also. Watch this. This is same as sine of minus theta is minus theta. We can use this piece and say, okay, this is cosine inverse of minus here and sine of 11 pi by 4. See, just to avoid the negative, you get this. And then again, last time I showed you that this is same as sine of 3 pi by 4. See, and sine 3 pi by 4 is unit circle here, 3 pi by 4, 1 pi by 4, 2 pi by here, right? So this is 3 pi by 4, which is negative. So you want to know sine, right? So this piece, pi by 4, 2 pi by 4, 3 pi by 4 is root 2. So cosine. This is cosine, this is the sine. So this is, if you do see this side, for pi by 4, this is pi by 4, it is root 2, okay, same thing. This side is going to be minus root 2 and root 2, right? And the question here is sine, right? The sine, this piece is right here, which is root 2, okay? And after that, you want to know minus, and there you go, you have a minus right here. So it gives you back the same answer. So this is 3 pi by 4. So it gets you to cosine inverse of 3 pi by 4, because there is this piece is minus root 2 here, right here, which I showed you, and cosine inverse of minus root 2 is 3 pi by 4, which is in the domain of 0 to, okay. Hope that helps. Let's do another one maybe. Okay, what is the exact value of this, right? So plug in this g, which is negative 37 pi over here, and when you plug this over there, you get sine inverse of tan of minus 37 pi. Remember, there's a negative. What you can write this is same as sine inverse of minus. So we'll write it as minus tan inverse of uh, 37. We'll try to avoid the minus because using the formula. So what formula did I use here is tan of minus theta. We already proved this in the class, which is tan theta. And this works only for sine, tan, cosecant, and, and cosecant, and cotangent also. So this, now 37 pi by 4, what does this mean 30, on the unit circle? And remember, 8 pi by 4s make a entire around. So this from until here is 8. Then you go, another one will be 16. Another one will be 24. Another one will be 32. Another round will be 36, and this is 37. So this becomes 37. Okay? If you get confused with this, just do a little calculation like this. See, 37 and divide. You can see 37 goes the closest you can say 4, 9, 36. So you get 1. So that that means it is this is same as writing the so this is same as writing sine inverse of minus 10 of pi by 4 because what are you left with is 1. So 1 pi by 4. So you get pi by 4. Though these two are coterminal angles. So I hope so this is the pi by 4. And you know what is 10 of pi by 4? So what is 10 pi by 4? Is 45 and 10 45 is 1. See, you get like this. And then finally we need to know what is sine inverse of negative 1. Now for that we'll have to do another unit circle just to understand this concept. You, you can do mentally and get the answer, but I like to show this. So minus 1 is, look here, this is 0 and negative 1. Okay, so here the angle is minus pi by 2. This answer, because of this location of this, it is the clockwise, it is minus pi by 4. You can't take this. That will be 3 pi by 2. That's like more than the angle which is pi by 2. See, you can't have more than, so your answer has to be, because it is minus, remember this is x and this is y, this is cosine, and this is sine. So we have to have the angle that is, the answer is minus 1. So this is minus 1. So it has to be minus pi by 2. And that's the only way you can, sine of minus pi by 2 is minus 1. Here it is minus 1. Okay, so hope that helps. Let's do another two and I'm done. This one is about pi by 3. So first step you write is cosine inverse of sine of 19 pi by 3. Now pi by 3 is 60 degrees. So remember pi by 3 is 60 degree and 60, how many 60s make a circle? And you can see there are 6 of them. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are 6 pi by 3s. So you go all around will be 6. Now there's 19 here. So 19 pi by 3s will be, so that means 6 plus 6 will be, so how many rounds you'll have to go around is, you go 1, this until here is 6 pi by 6, which is, uh, sorry, 6 pi by 3, 1, then this will be 12 pi by 3. Okay, and this will be 18 pi by, so still there will be 1 pi by 3 because that's 19. So this can be written as sine of directly pi by 3. See, shortcut. And, or you get confused, that's how you do. 19 divide is 18 and the remainder is 1, so 1 pi by 3. There you go. And you do know what is cosine inverse sine of 60 degrees because pi by 3 is 60, sine 60 is root 3 by 2. And then these are the regular ones which you already know, cosine. Cosine of what angle is root 3 by 2? And you know it is pi by 6. See how beautiful this is. Hope that helps. Okay. And I'm going a little fast because you already understood the questions. So this is 27. So first thing is they give you minus 3 pi by 2. So plug in cosine of minus 3 pi by 2. Okay. And now, so remember, if cosine of minus theta is same as plus cos, so we can directly write this, get away with the negative. So this piece will be directly, I'll write plus, doesn't matter. And then you ask what units on over here, cosine of 3 pi by 2. What's cosine of 3 pi by 2? So pi by 2 is here, 1 pi by 2, 2 pi by 2, and then 3 pi by 2. You can see this is 0 and 1. And you know the answer is tan inverse of cosine 3 pi by 2 is 0. So this is 0. And then the question is, what is this tan inverse of 0? What does that mean? It means if you see tan is 0, this part, this is 1 and 0, which is x and y. And remember the definition of tan is y over x. Okay. So to get this, to get answer is 0 because you want to know the answer is 0 here. The only way is y has to be 0. That's one point. See this point? and the angle has to be this. So this becomes zero angle. So the answer becomes zero. So tan of zero is zero. Okay. So we can't take the other one. Even some of you may say, hey, that's pi, negative pi, sorry, pi, that was 180. We can't take pi because for tan inverse, the range is from plus 9, minus 9. Okay. So I think, okay, let's do another. Okay, this is question number 27. So if A is given this, so what is this, right? So I'll put it like tan inverse of sine of negative 1170, which we can write as tan inverse of minus sine of, and then figure out what is the reference angle. So we want to know how many. So this is minus sine of, okay. So how many, so all around 360. So we want to know how many 360s make it up, right? Because this number is more than 360. So let's do right 360 here and 1170. And if you do 3 times 30, 368, 1 and 368 is 19, 9, 1, 3 3s are 9, and you get 10. And if you subtract, I think I'm messing up. 1080. Yeah, if you do a little calculation and multiply 3 and you subtract this, you get 90 here. So that's the answer, which is pi by 2 here. Okay, I'll use 90 because they give you in degrees. So this is writing 9. And you do know that uh, sine of sine 90 is 1. See, 90 is 1. And then tan inverse of minus. Now be careful this is minus 1 here. So you have to think of that same thing which we did last time. So this pi by 4, this is like pi by 4. And you can see these are root 2, 2 and root 2 to both for cosine and sine. And you see this is for pi by 4. That's it. But because we want the answer to be negative, and here tan pi by 4 here. So this piece is 45. But other way, this point on over here, this is minus pi by 4. And this is where your x coordinate is the same, the y coordinate is this one, and this one is tan of minus pi by 4 is minus 1. See how beautiful this is? So this answer become straight away is minus tan pi by 4. Okay, but as I said, very soon we will do shortcut also, that we will see that tan inverse of minus 1 also is directly tan inverse of 1 like this. There's a formula. Like if only for the cosine inverse of minus theta, you have to write pi minus cosine inverse of theta. So those are the things I've not used yet, but we'll see. Next class, we are going to do that. Question number 29 is first work. This one is same as we can pull out this negative right here and write down there this way. And what is tan of 45? And tan of 45, we know it is 1, see, and cosine inverse of minus 1. Remember, cosine of 0 is 1. So cosine inverse of 1 is 0. Now, what I'm talking about is this answer that you see minus 1 on your answer has to be from this. This is what you have to have. So minus 1. So where is this minus 1? This one is 1 and 0, and this side is minus 1 and 0. So that's the cosine of the angle. And what is this angle? Is this one, 180 degrees, see, which is pi. This has to be pi. So the answer is pi. But the question is pi, yeah, is in the range of the angle theta, which is pi. So this answer is correct because the range of arc cosine is this one. Okay, so last time I showed you that it goes something like this, from minus 1 to plus 1 until pi here. Okay, so that helps. Hope I'm making going a little faster because of the time. Question number 30 is angle is given 0, so sine inverse of cosine of this. What is cosine of 0? Cosine 0 is 1. Remember on the unit circle, if the angle is here, and that's where you have 1 and 0, and this is the cosine, that's the sine. So cosine of 0 is 1. And then you say, what is sine inverse of minus 1? Because for sine inverse, your answer has to be this one, correct? And they're saying there's 1 here. And remember, this is 0, 1. Okay? So, and then this is x, this is y, this is cosine, and this is sine. So sine of, because there's a 1 here, this angle is 90, which is pi by 2. So this has to be sine pi by 2 is 1. So sine inverse gives back to minus pi by 2. Sorry, pi by 2, which is in the range of, so answer is this, and this answer is sine inverse. We know the theta has to be minus pi by 2. So you're done. This is another question is sine inverse. So sometimes they give you both. So usually students, they think that, oh, there's a minus. It's like you have root of x and there's a x square and say, okay, directly write x. So we are being tempted to say this crosses out and 2 pi by 3. Now remember, the sine inverse of, there's a inverse. Your answer has to be from, so whatever the answer that you should get, remember the range part has to be from minus 90 plus to plus 90. So this is how the answer should be. So this one is 2, if you write 2 pi by 3, that's like 120 degrees, which crosses here. So this is not in the range of the sine inverse. See this part? So you can't have that answer. So if that's the case, then how do we do this? So for such example, let's do one thing at a time. So first, work out only the inside part, right? So this is sine inverse of, and this piece on the semicircle, 2 pi by 3 is 120. So this is 60 degree, which is pi by 3. And you go one more 60 will be here. So that's the point. This is 60, which is cosine 60 is half root 3 over 2. And this side is minus half root 3 over 2. Okay. So the answer is, and this will be over here, sine is root 3 by 2, the x coordinate, right? So this answer is root 3 by, is root 3 by 2, correct? And then you say, okay, now sine inverse of root 3 by 2 is, and the root 3 by 2, you're back here, back to here. See, this is the root 3 by 2. And this is sine pi by 3 is root 3 by 2. So the answer of this becomes is pi by 3, which is 60 degrees. So a little confusing. So looks like it is not 2 pi by 3, but it is pi by 3. This is the correct answer. And I shown you how to do this is by showing this piece was 2 pi by 3, and we got the answer here. Okay, and that's the answer. And then we worked out this way, and we got this answer, which is pi by 3. So the 34 is given to use the 16 pi by 3. Now, cosine inverse of 16 pi by 3. So do not get tempted to just cross this. You can't cross this. That's not possible. So if you can't cross, then how do we do this? First, work out the insides. So there's on the unit circle around is there are 6 pi by 3s. So 6 and 6 is 12. And if you do 12, there will be still one more, which will be cosine of 2, 12, 13, 14, 15, 4 pi by. So you get 4 pi by 3. See? And this answer cosine 4 pi by 3. What is cosine 4? Because these two are coterminal angle. Cosine 4 pi by 3 will be somewhere here. Look, this is because 1 pi by 4, 2 pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 4, sorry, this is pi by 3, I'm sorry, I'm doing a little fast. So this will be pi by 6, sorry, pi by 3 basically means 60 degrees. So pi by 3, 2 pi by 3, 3 pi by 3, and then 4 pi by. So this will be, and if we don't know cosine pi by 3, which is cosine 60 is half. So this will be minus half, yeah, because this side is half and root 3 by 2, okay, and so therefore this will both are minus. So the answer for this is cosine is this piece minus half. So we have to write this as, so this will be cosine inverse of minus half. And then you write what is cosine inverse of minus half. Your answer has to be 0 to pi. So on the unit circle, you can see if I do this, go this way here, so that will be plus still minus half and root 3 by 2, and that will be 2 pi by, so this is 2 pi by 3. So this answer is 2 pi by 3. That because it is minus here, so there's a minus half. So this is the answer. I hope that takes care. I'm going a little fast. I have to go for my weekend academy. Let's see. This is 35, and they give you P angle is like this. So all you do is plug in here tan inverse. Now tan inverse of P. See, the original graph, if you see of tan, if you remember the graph, the is from between minus 90 and there is a vertical asymptote. This is how the graph looks like. So you can see the range here. It covers the whole range, the whole real number. That means when you, for this part, the for this the inverse function of p has to be between my. So this is minus 90 to plus 90. But when you go the inverse one, it defined for anything. So this could be anything here. When you go to inverse function, because the domain of original function tan is minus 90 to plus 90, and range is all real numbers. So the range of inverse is all real numbers. So this could be anything, doesn't matter. So such cases we can just cross out, the answer becomes P. So because P is between plus infinity and minus infinity.